Hello EDUSPLORERs, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to another exciting video on our YouTube channel. On today's episode, we are looking at the benefit of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This particular agreement has been used in the continent, has been talked to in different quarters around the world, in different African businesses and also boardrooms. But the importance and benefits to the African business as a continent or semi-medium-sized enterprises hasn't been explained in details. So in this video, we're going to be explaining that to you. So by the end of this video, you will have a clear picture. So without any much delay, we should just go straight into it. Considering the African Continental Free Trade, it is a flagship project of the African Union, established in 2018 to create a single market for goods and services, facilitated by movement of persons to promote industrial development, sustainability as well and inclusiveness in socio-economic growth to deepen the economic integration of Africa. As of the 5th of February 2021, 54 member states of African Union have signed this particular agreement, with 36 countries deposited their instrument of ratification that started trading under the ACFTA agreement that began in January of 2021. The agreement connects about 1.3 billion people across the continent with a combination or combined GDP estimated at about 3.4 trillion of US dollars. But the question is that why the AFTA matters, talking about the free trade agreement. If you consider the intra-US trade, which is 50% of the trade, Asia has about 60% if you consider that, and in Europe there is about 70% in terms of the inter-trade. However, intra-African trade currently accounts for about just 12% of the trade, significantly lower than in many other regions considering the figures we just gave a moment ago. This limits numbers of foreign investment within the continent while increasing trade deficiencies or dependency and foreign market. The AFCTA is the most exciting moment for the continent of Africa in this regard. As for Africa's post-COVID-19 recovery, the agreement offers opportunities for collaboration, action, allowing Africans to do business with each other and strengthening African resilience. But the question is, what is this particular agreement promises to bring to the African people? Now, this is some of the things. It's to create a liberalized market for goods and services for the African continent. It will contribute to the movement of capital. It will facilitate investment through the creation of a single large market. It will catalyze the introduction of new technologies to boost production activities in the African continent. It will enhance competitiveness across member countries and also economies. It's going to be promoting industrial development and also through diversification, and also to develop the value addition system for products. More importantly, it will eliminate tariffs on intra-African trade, making it easier for businesses to trade within Africa and also benefit from their own growing market. And also it will go a long way to introduce regulatory and also measures such as sanitary standards and eliminating non-tariff barriers to trade. And more also importantly, it will establish in the future a common continental market. If you are new to EDUSPLORER, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. But the question many are also asking, considering this particular agreement, what will be the economic impact of this particular trade agreement? According to a report from World Bank, considering that the African Continental Free Trade Area economic distribution effect and implementation of this particular agreement, it will have some huge economic effect for the African continent. What should be looking at here, as we've explained, the agreement is going to lift about 30 million Africans out of extreme poverty and boost the incomes of nearly 68 million others who live in less than $5 a day. It will boost African income by up to 450 billion US dollars, projecting to 2035, and also that's a gain of about 7%, which will add in about 750 billion to the incomes of the rest of the world. It will also increase Africa's export by up to $560 million, mostly in manufacturing and also spur larger wage gains for women in particular than for men. In that case, it would boost wage for both skilled and unskilled workers. That's up to about 10% for skilled workers and also those who are unskilled. So these are some of the very important areas. But another question is, what are the challenges this particular agreement is going to face in the African continent? More importantly, the implementation of this agreement could also involve in a number of different challenges. There's no saying that this is going to be roses in the park. Of course, considering the challenges that this agreement is going to be facing, the agreement will mean harmonizing Africa's heterogeneous economies. Despite their considerable variation in size, level of economic development, diversification, and it's hard to ensure broad-based gains for all member states. Not every state is going to benefit from this particular agreement. This particular agreement has the greatest level of income disparity of any continental free trade agreement. Many countries, especially the 32 least developed countries in the African continent, face challenges to create jobs, develop their industrial sectors, and diversify their production capacity. In some countries, weak infrastructure, low technological updates, and also conflict will threaten the implementation of the agreement. The general fears of losing control and sense of loss of identity across segments of the population has also been expressed. But the question here many are asking, how will African small businesses benefit from this? So what are the benefits of this trade agreement to semi-medium-sized enterprises? African medium-sized enterprises can benefit from greater access to new markets and also possible economic transformation, and that competition in those markets could promote and regarded as many as greater targets for this agreement. The agreement offers a number of benefits to African semi-medium-sized enterprises, vitally due to their importance to the continent. Economic accountability, accounting for up to 80% small businesses in the African continent, will be benefiting from this particular trade. This will include things like fostering specialization in boosting industrialization as well, increase employment opportunities and investments in different areas in terms of technology. It will allow African-owned enterprises to enter new markets, expand their customer base, and create new products and also services, making investment in innovation in a viable way. It will reduce manufacturing gap, creating more revenues and avenues for those small enterprises to create even well-paid jobs, especially for young people. This particular trade agreement will also increase investment that will drive capital to domestic businesses. It will be earning up imports and raw materials and also help African companies process those materials themselves, and also make sure that enabling the semi-medium-sized enterprises also form a kind of intertrade between them to scale their businesses. If you are new to our channel, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. Finally, in closing these particular details with regards to the African free trade, what are the possibilities of this particular challenges that this particular trade agreement will have? Despite its many benefits, the agreement still may face certain challenges within the African business circles. This may include things like capacity. There is a deficiency in human and technological capacity in terms of those small businesses, and that may come on as a disadvantage. There's also another disadvantage and challenges in terms of access to finance. Limited access to semi-medium-sized enterprise finance and trade finances that may hinder participation in the inter-African trade. Access to power. Erratic and poor electricity supply limits operations and also raises expenses for many semi-medium-sized enterprises and their ability to scale to other African markets. Network of infrastructure, travel and transport between African countries and regions via roads, rail, and also air needs to boost more efficiency. Digital infrastructure, stronger internet penetration will also be needed for this particular trade to be more effective. Foreign competition. Local producers may also lose sales for foreign suppliers because the latter can also cost them production, and leveraging the reduced tariff imports on imported goods and also make those particular companies that have partnership abroad And more importantly, there will be the loss of intellectual property to larger corporations due to poor enforced patent laws within the continent. If you are new to EDUSPLORER, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. That's all what we got for you with regards to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. It is a brilliant agreement that has its own benefits. It's going to assist the African people with developed economies and semi-medium-sized enterprises. Not every country will benefit the same. There are some countries that already have advanced economies like South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt. You do have Senegal, Ghana, and other countries that will be benefiting in this. These particular countries may come out like Rwanda, and the rest will come out, may benefit hugely as compared to other countries within the continent. But again, it is a huge benefit for the African people, the African businesses, and foreign investors that are currently operating in the continent. Again, post COVID-19, we're going to be looking on how relevant and important this particular agreement will be to the continent. So thanks very much for watching our channel. We encourage you to watch our other videos. We are looking forward to meeting you again in our next episode. So for now, we're looking forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.